So, like we always do, let's talk about what the card actually does. It says at the start of the match, infuse a random Zoltan in your deck with. When this card appears on the battlefield, spawn Eudora Breckenrigs to the right of self and boost her by 1 for each Zoltan in your starting deck. Then banish self. So if you have Zoltan Warrior, well, let's look. How many Zoltans are there? Three Zoltans, right? So if you have 3 Zoltans, which is Zoltan Warrior, Zoltan Shiva, and Zoltan Scoundrel. When you play the one that's infused, it will spawn this and then banish itself. So Zoltan Warrior will banish itself? Autofin at the start of the match? At the start of the match, infuse a random... Oh. So this will infuse the Zoltan and then banish itself. So it's like Ryogon, kind of. Okay. Yeah, Fallen, that makes sense. So you will have a 24 card deck. That is really good. Like, most people overlook how good Ryogon is as a thinning card. Because it doesn't give you tempo, but it is guaranteed to start in the graveyard. That increases the odds of you getting every other card that you want by 4%, right? Yeah, it's the same thing that makes musicians good because, well, musicians is even better. Just setting the deck building condition aside, just as a card independently, it's a roach that starts on the board for 4p. Which is kind of insane. So, yeah, it just adds 5 to your Zoltan. I think this is auto-include in every deck with a Zoltan. Even if you have 1 Zoltan, it's just 3. And it's a dwarf, and it has armor. Far more than 4%. What is the math on how much this improves your... Yeah, it says when this card appears on the battlefield, right? So summoning it, like if you quacks your own Zoltan Warrior, technically this would also spawn if it gets Vilgefortz out. Yes. Right, Cordy, but that's also you're assuming mulligans don't come back, right? But for simplicity's sake, let's say that. But I think you're right. So you go from missing design is very human. You mean the art? I mean, I don't know. She looks very dwarf-like to me. I guess everything Chich says should be taken with a grain of salt. Starting inside tomb was not enough? Wait, what's the story of Eudora? Does anybody know the lore? Where's her beard? Oh, gross. Sorry, no offense to any dwarfs. But, weird. Wake up, dwarves. Wake up. Huge man's lust after our lady folks. Seriously though, wake up, dwarves. Where is wake up, dwarves? Sam, what happened to it?
Elves.
Look at all those chickens.
Sam, what happened? What happened to the dwarves?
Wake up, dwarves. Humans lust after our lady folk.
Humans lust after our lady folk!
Should be epic, not legendary? I mean, it's about crafting cost, right? Doesn't have any gameplay impact. My appointments, I'll be lurking just now. Back soon. Alright, man. See you later. Are there any ST decks where you would run a Zoltan that aren't a dwarf deck? I guess there's like the Precision Strike Zoltan Warrior decks. I think this card is like, I'm not gonna say broken or anything, because it won't be. Like, I think if you want to improve the power level of an archetype, cards like this are how you do it. You don't add like a Madame whatever, the Syndicate card that like creates 3 engines, or a Siggy Mastermind. I think those cards are create more problems. But like this, I mean, it kind of sucks that it's like limited to only Zoltans. Like, what is this? The Zoltan archetype now? He's just one dude. Like, an entire race being reduced to one, you know, token dude. Fine. but this definitely, because this isn't a gold that you have to draw. Like, this is just a thing that makes your deck better. You know what I mean? Tigra says, I've been playing a Hyper Control PS with Zoltan in it, but don't know if this card fits. This card absolutely fits. Doesn't matter. Find something to cut. If you have a deck with Zoltan today, you will cut something and put this in. This is like making your deck be 24 cards and giving yourself 3, 4, or 5 tempo for free. There's like zero reason not to include this. Dwarf package used to be a thing. Yeah, it used to be a thing because Zoltan and Monroe didn't have barricade requirements, or at least like Zoltan started with armor or whatever. Now you have to play them in a with the dwarf leader, with the tempering leader to have their passives active, or you need some other way to give them armor, so they become a lot more conditional. No, Pastor. This card banishes itself at the start of the game. I made the same mistake. Think of it like how Ryogan starts in the graveyard. This card, like, sucks itself into Zoltan and then it's gone. So now your deck has 24 cards. It's a good card, does not solve any of the dwarves' issues. It doesn't solve all of them. But dwarves being like a tempo archetype that like multiplies and gets out of control and is resilient to removal, I think that's a good enough niche. Like, I've had games against dwarves where I'm like, especially when they're red coin or something, where I'm playing a heavy tempo deck and I just like get overwhelmed and there's nothing on their side that I can just like remove. It's like there's 4P cards with 3 armor that, like, if you don't remove them, their next card gets an extra 1 point. But like 6 cards in, they play another 4P that goes to 10. Like, it's. Yeah, Monroe used to have 2 charges on deploy, and it would just transform two Rowdy Dwarves into Berserkers. Now it's got a cooldown. So surely some Bronze Dwarf will become the new on-crate Armor Smith? They already have that, dude. They already have Marauders. Is Dota a dwarf enjoyer, Eddie? He's an elf enjoyer, I see. Zoltan Warrior is a good card. Always has been. I thought it was a broken, busted card. Because it's damage and engine and point slam all in one. It's rather it's control, engine, and point slam all in one. And it's like not vulnerable to, like, you can't, it doesn't go tall. Point slam that doesn't go tall is very, very good. Other two, yeah. I'm not a fan of either of these 2 cards. No. Yeah, I agree with you. You play these two because you want your Zoltan's company to be better or whatever, right? Like that's the only reason you play them. There's some decks where like Scoundrel plays for a decent amount. Scoundrel could be 7p. No. It's 13 points. Like any deck that plays Scoundrel plays it for 13 points. 13 for 7 would be better than any other card in the game that I can think of. Part of why you don't play this is because like Assimilate would love to copy this. Yeah, the thing about this new card is you just need one Zoltan. Literally any deck that runs a Zoltan should run this. And some decks that don't run a Zoltan might consider running Zoltan Warrior just so they can run this. I don't think chat... It's the kind of thing that isn't... may not be intuitive. But like math-wise, this is a huge buff. Like... Best Boy can be drawn, you have to mulligan it, he can brick, he can block things like marching orders. This is like 5 times better than Best Boy. SK 13 for 5? No, I said 7. 7p. The best 7p gold is Axel at like, 11 for 7. That doesn't go tall, right? Zoltan Scoundrel is 13 for 8 right now. It's conditional, right? Axel's unconditional. So that's why you see Axel played more than Zoltan Scoundrel. But I'm just saying... I think Zoltan Scoundrel would be too good at 7. Honestly, I think the bigger problem with dwarves has been consistency. Like, for once, I agree with the solution that CDPR has come up with. Because, like, when you try to make a dwarf deck... do I have one? Probably not. Like you see it very quickly when you try to make a dwarf deck. Like these are the good dwarfs, right? Maybe Barclay. I'm not sure yet. I'm not even sure about those. Okay. Then we take out the Pyrotex because they don't really belong. Maybe one Agitator. One Defender. You're like, okay, well, I need some removal. And then I need, like, a way to play that removal. Right? And then you probably want some sort of combo. Where's Armory? Armorer's Workshop. No, not Tempering. Well, Tempering is good too. But you also need this thing. And so now you're like, okay, I guess we can't afford Oniro. Hold on. Maybe we don't play this combo anymore, even though it thins. Maybe we don't need 2 of these. Okay. I guess we have to play the other Zoltans because we want our company to be good. Like, there's 2 ways to build a dwarf deck. There's either Zoltan's company version or like one where you don't. And I prefer the one where you don't, and you just focus on the armor. So the way that I usually build it is I just go Simless. But Simless also got nerfed recently. I mean, not recent, but like not too long ago. So it just... You see, like, provisions wise, all you can afford are like 4Ps and 5Ps now. Kind of just better Xavier post reward. It's not random Hubert, no. It is... Kareem, think of it like Ryogon. Take Xavier Morin out. Put the 4P Boosty Boy in. Who's the 4P Boosty Boy? This guy? There's also Yarpin. You can miss the infused Zoltan. This deck only has one Zoltan. You didn't lose AP from your deck, Kareem. Like, you can put, hey, Yako. Alyssa? Alyssa for what? For Armor's Workshop? Oh, that's clever. Tempering's 4P. It's pretty good. You probably need some locks though, don't you? Since you don't have a lot of removal. So you don't lose HP from your deck. Your deck becomes a 24 card deck, right? And so over a three round game, the odds of you drawing every one of your cards is that you want to draw is increased dramatically, right? Because I think someone said like normally in a game, like you second card's out. Thanks, Kevin. Normally in a game, you miss. Like you play 16, right? There's 9 that you don't play unless you have thinning, and then of those 9, you see up to 4 of them, right? There's usually just 5 cards that you never even get to see. If that 5 becomes a 4, the odds of you missing a key card is now 25% less, right? Like, if that 4 becomes a 3, 2, 1, 0, now you see every card. That's why thinners are better when you have more of them. We'll look at the new card in a minute. Just be patient, guys. There is a really good article by Lirio on thinning, on the probability. I highly recommend checking it out. And he like looks at all the different kinds of thinning, like thinning pairs, draw a card, discard, pull out thinning, self-thinning, erasing, which is cards like Darren or DMT. And then he shows you the math on the number of thinning. So for red and blue, right? If you have like the odds of you drawing all your cards, like if you have 7 thinning, you get everything. But as you can see, like the first thinner, like once you go from 0 to 1, you just increase your odds by 2%, right? Of getting the key card. But this is like 2.1 jump, and then this is a 2%, and then this is 2.4%, and then here it's 2.6%, and then from here to here it's 3.1%, and from here to here it's 3.3%. You see how like every subsequent thinning is better than the last? Like Knickers, you can draw them in round 1, or like Tankov said, you can draw them from Golden Necker. Knickers is a brick. Knickers doesn't come out like removing a card from your deck is infinitely better than a card like Knickers. Ryogon is better than Knickers. The reason people play Knickers is because Knickers gives you tempo. Well, this gives you tempo as well. Plus it's a dwarf, plus it has armor, plus it plays for more points if you play more than one Zoltan. But like I was saying earlier, if you have a deck where you would play a Zoltan, or you could play a Zoltan, this card is auto-included in that deck, in my opinion. Dota says, I mean, they could have given her more armor so you could make a 2-turn combo with... Well, she's gonna have 1x... No, she won't, right? How does this leader work? All dwarves in your starting deck get 1 armor. So I'm guessing this doesn't benefit from the leader. No, I mean the passive Dota. Yeah. You could 2-turn combo her with Sultan's Resilient summoning her, then you smash Dennis Cranmer next turn. I mean, I don't think Cranmer needs to be buffed. Like, he's plenty good. And making dwarves relying on a cheesy gimmicky combo is not my idea of buffing dwarves. Like, haha, I draw this combo and I play 1,000,000 points, you know, of tempo. Like, that's not... Like, Moshcraft's fundamental theorem of Gwent viability, right? A deck to be viable needs to have control, consistency, and points. Like, for a deck to be competitive. Do I have a command for this? I don't know. I think I do, but... Don't type exclamation CDPR. Okay. So, this card, very, very good. Let me see what the next one looks like. I said don't do that. Here is the next card. Mahakam Pass. It's a new location. Yay, locations! With resilience. Yay, resilience. Deploy, create a bronze square-tail dwarf and give it 4 armor. Okay. Bronze square-tail dwarf. I assume that implies it's a unit, right? So you could get a Giant Slayer. You could get a Berserker with 6 armor. Where's Berserker? Why isn't Berserker showing up in this search? Oh, it's right there. Stairs in Cranmer, yeah. There's Cranmer and there's Marauder, right? Armor becomes points through Marauder. Yeah, I get that, Dota. But I want those other cards to become balanced. I don't want you know, I want Marine to get nerfed and Blob to be made sane again, you know? I don't want them to print busted cards for every faction that's weaker. I want them to nerf the stuff that's OP. Because there's a lot fewer stuff that's OP than there are cards that are not OP. Well, it goes to 25 power, no other emote changes? Dude, that would be busted. Is Mahakam Pass better or worse than Garrison? Well, it's 10p and it has resilience. I don't think Garrison's very good in a dwarf deck. Like, what? The only thing you want from Garrison is volunteers. But if you don't, but Garrison as a consistency card is problematic because it's an artifact, so you need Oneiromancy to be able to play it, right? Because otherwise you have 2 bricks in your deck that you're not thinning. Like, you can't mulligan your thinning card. What's your backup plan? Like, if you already drew a Mahakam Volunteer round 1, do you mulligan it? Or do you just play it? And then what do you play from Garrison? Which soldier are you playing? Berserker, perhaps? Yeah, like, it's not... But it's... I'm playing an 11p Berserker. You understand why that's shit? Like... Giving all units 1 armor, like all Berserkers 1 armor, is maybe like 4 more points. Like, a Berserker plus 4 points for 11 provisions, and I have to now have a way to tutor it in my deck. Like, that seems not worth, to say the least. That's a problem with Tempest. Sure, but Tempest isn't 11 provisions. Like, Tempest is 6 and it plays 2 4Ps. You can boost dwarf tokens. Sure, but again, that's not... like, say you have 4 outie dwarves. It's still, you're still paying 11 provisions. It's like, I don't... Garrison is good as like a bulldozer style deck where you just hope you get it and you play a Mahakam. You play volunteers. So you get 3 of them. That's good. Like, that's 12 tempo. Bam. Right? And you have to order. Then it's good. How do you fit this card? In this deck? Just kick out Heatwave. Or kick out Aniro, replace it with Decree. And hope you draw your shit. I don't know. Sorry, I'm coordinating for a tournament on Saturday. Novigrad's a much better card. No, I think they're... I mean, so Novigrad has like the passive. This has tempering. Think of it. Think of this like mushy truffle, but also with like a better deploy. Right? Isn't this like just better than mushy truffle in every way for a dwarf deck? Great card for Angolim. Yes, yes. There's Angolim's very happy about these cards. Like this one gives you 3 assimilate procs. You got like 4 Assim engines. This is 12 points, not counting. This is whatever dwarves get plus 12. Like, I mean, that's assimilate for you. Are these cards good? Yes. Then the thing, this is very much worth 10p, and this is very much worth 8p. I think they'll be... This for sure will be in every deck that has a Zoltan, or could have a Zoltan. This is the best thing in the history of Gwent. Yes. Totally doesn't limit design space. Unlike Caranthir, which had to be fixed. And Mamuna had to be nerfed in provisions. So it cannot be played, not even in relics. Like, good job, CDPR. Like, instead of like recognizing the problem, which was self-eaters being busted, they were like, what if we nerf Insectoids instead? Because that card is played in every deck. Eudora for sure will be played. I think Precision Strike can play this too. Like, this is a fun deck. Classic Scoia'tael deck building, am I right? How to make a deck. First, get Vanadane, Simlas, and 2 Waylays. Alright, job's done. Fill out the rest on your own. We're gonna put in Knickers, but we all know that it's actually the Lady Dwarf. And then play Zoltan. There. I've done it. Okay. What deck's in the plans today? I mean, look at this. I've made every Scoia'tael deck ever. Yeah, Precision Strike with Zoltan is not a new thing, so why not just add a Eudora? Exactly. By the way, nerd check. Who knows the software called Eudora and what it did? Anyone here use Eudora in the past? 10 derp coin to anyone who can tell me what Eudora did without Googling it. Honor system. Yep. Boomer in the chat. Boomer alert. Got him. Gen X, thank you very much. That's a very boomer thing to say. That's the most boomer thing, is to correct someone. Actually, Simlas for tempering copium? Sure, we'll put in tempering. Oh, I already made that deck, actually. Hold on. Let me show you the puzzle dwarf deck. Here you go. This is Puzzle's jam right here. Ignore the Alyssa. It's the Eudora here. We'll just put in Knickers for now. But look, Puzzle, it's your favorite card. I guess we need to put in the new location, so we can't run Heatwave. Sorry, guys. Alyssa for Simlas. What do you cut, though? Tell me what to cut. Heatwave sucks, it's fine. Heatwave doesn't suck. 4 tempering is the way. Cut 2 workshop? Okay. Oh, because he plays all copies. True. I always forget that Simlas has this idiotic design where he actually plays every copy of a special from your graveyard. Alright. What else do we cut? Knickers and Land of a Thousand Fables are the 2 new cards. Cut Volunteer. Yeah, who needs consistency? Do we run any of the other Zoltans? In case we miss Warrior? Or we just don't miss Warrior? The problem with Scoundrel is he's just bad in a short round. The problem with Shive is he's bad in round 3. Right? He's like 8 points. You haven't seen a new HP card? Oh, look at it. Hold on. No one say anything. Puzzle. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being auto include and 1 being you will never play this, what would you rate this as? Auto include in like the deck that it's meant for. Not in like literally every deck. That would be Battle Stations. That would be 12 out of 5. You have 30 seconds. Everyone, stress puzzle out. You mean this one? Yeah, Cordy, we know. We need to know now, puzzle. So, I'll explain how it works. At the beginning of the game, it banishes itself and merges itself into a random Zoltan from your starting deck. When you play that Zoltan, it creates itself. Yeah, so it's like Ryogon. It's like a Knickers that you can't break. Yeah, it's banish self, not banish Zoltan. Yeah. Okay, now what do you rate it as? Yep. It's like Musicians of Blaviken, kind of. With the... There you go. See? Auto include... Thank you for validating me. Just better Nick? Exactly. No, it infuses a random Zoltan. It doesn't add +5 to every Zoltan. That would be disgusting. You get to choose when it pops up. Exactly. It's like Roach, basically. But better, because it can't break. Yeah, easy. So that's what this Knickers is. And so the plan with this deck is you want to mulligan the 2 temperings. This location plays a tempering for you, a leader plays a tempering for you, then you Alyssa and you Simless 4 temperings. They always do their cards? Not necessarily. Plus, like, they always ran, Oniro and Maxi and stuff. If you make a deck more consistent without having to spend as much provisions on it, you're giving it more points. Right? Consistency is points. With only 1 decree, this deck seems sus. Sure. You can fit a Maxi in somehow. Do we cut Doragary? We don't even have a Heat Wave, so... We're just getting to tempering and a Mimic Glaze deck? Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, JCM. I mean, we all said, well... Anyone who understands how the card works, you wouldn't play this, yeah. The location? Which one would you not play? This one? Not fun. Oh yeah, it's like the same thing we've already done, just like slightly more points, right? Can this proc Francesco location? Okay, but like the reason you play Francesca isn't to play a tempering. Like 7 points plus a free tempering isn't worth 10p. You play it so you can play a second what's it called? Zoltan's Company or Heatwave. Right? Something good. Second salve? Now we're talking. Oh. Yeah, okay. Good luck drawing yourself. Why don't we add a prison pendant while we're at it? Alzo Francisca Salvis is fire. Yeah, that's why I've seen it ever in the history of the universe. Oh wait, I haven't. Not a single time. No one has played it in Pro Rank. I mean, it's so good, it's taken the meta by storm. What does
You need people like me.
ADCs kind of? So we play Knickers and we play the new lady, right? Now it's got even more consistency. So this is the new lady. This is a new location. So we got 2 thinning here. Or we could just play volunteers again. Are volunteers just not good or what? Maybe just got the stupid Alyssa. I hate her. I know you do. But like, look, man. If you go look at gwentdata.com, okay? Because this is where I take my guidance. You look at the leaderboard and you sort it by the nerd penis meter. You can see that the best players in the world are anti-hero, like right there, John Sally, legendary. Bukowski, legendary. Okay, like Lyria, legendary. Okay, like consistency is for suckers, dude. I don't even see puzzle on this list. How far down? Yeah, way at the bottom, bro. You're not even good. Get good, kid. Only very good. 37.5. Imagine running tutors and shit when you could just be good at the game. So I don't really care what you have to say. First place, schmerst place. Literal last on the ladder. Like, Puzzle is the worst player in Gwent history. Look at him. Bottom of the barrel. Even this dude who's only got one hand is better than you at the video game. God damn. You're losing to a fucking bird, man. Yeah, imagine how good he'd be if he had 2 hands. Or if Magpie had opposable thumbs, you know? And maybe a shirt. Okay, I stop. Sorry, Puzzle. Oh, don't Death Note me. Or are you Death Noting Magpie? Alright. So what do we think of this card? We rated this other one as auto-include in any deck that would have a Zoltan, or should have a Zoltan, or could have a Zoltan. Bullying pro players, that's right. You know what, JCM? At least they're like well known enough for me to bully them. Imagine being like a tryhard at Gwent, but not being well known enough for me to make fun of you for chat to enjoy. Yeah, but Puzzle, how busted is it in an Angolim Nilfgaard deck? Garrison feels better than this? No, you're just wrong. You're just 100% wrong. Garrison's only good if you got 7 Berserkers on the board, and if you have 7 Berserkers on the board, you already won. Like, why do you need Garrison? No, like, we already did this exercise. Garrison's bad, guys. It's Soldier, actually, not Warrior. So, like, the cards you want from Garrison are Mahakam Dwarf, sorry, Mahakam Volunteer, and Mahakam Volunteer. Maybe a Berserker. But, like, are you really playing 11 provisions for one of these? Look, Spiro, I'm excited when they don't try to invent new mechanics, all right? That's what I said. That's it. It's better than Truffle. Because Truffle like only gives you bonded cards, which is like garbage for ST, right? Whereas this gives you tempering. It's better. Tempering is way better than Golden Froth for dwarves. Spiro with the dad jokes. Yeah, Garrison barely feels worth it for Reavers, exactly. Or for like a spotter spam meme deck. And don't forget, it has resilience. Like, being able to play... Like, you can click this, and in the same turn, click Cranmer. Right? Is there an Alzar Dwarf deck that is good? Probably not, right? Because you want a bunch of dwarf units. You don't have rooms for spells. With Seers. These guys. Would they survive? What are we listening to? Oh, it's the Doom soundtrack. The best part of the last short-lived dwarves meta was my partner having to suffer. I'm a dwarf. Yeah. Mine left me because I played this song too many times. Salty. And I'd be like, look, listen, it's a dwarf song. Come listen to it. Because Candle exists. You can play Seer and click Order in the same turn. Yeah, true. You can also Leader in the same turn as Seer, but that's not, like, taken the dwarf world by storm, has it? Imagine running Heatwave, man. What kind of a boring person do you have to be? You see my meta breaker for next patch? Alright, this is the end of our Scoia'tael card review. Now we're going to talk about decks. But just to recap for anybody who wanted to skip to the end, this card auto-include, it will banish itself at the beginning of the game and infuse a Zoltan with basically a +3 to 5, depending on how many Zoltans you have in deck. It's way better than Knickers. If you have a Zoltan in your deck, 100% you want to play this. Removing a card from your deck increases your consistency by a ton, and it adds tempo that you decide when it comes out. It's really fucking good. It's the same cost as a Knickers, twice as good as Knickers. You will play this if you can play it. This one is better than Truffle, and has an order that plays tempering. You can combo it with lots of armor payoff cards that are in Scoia'tael in a dwarf deck. And then create a bronze Scoia'tael, draw off and give 4 armor. Okay. That's good. I mean, it's a Berserker with 6 armor. That's a lot. And the other bronze dwarves are decent. They're not amazing, but like you could high roll this into volunteers. Maybe. Make Pellet clear resilience artifacts? No, thank you. We don't need more 4 provision counters to like really strong cards. That's dumb. We had that with Bomb Heaver and it was terrible. And that was 5p. Pellet was also 5p back then. Anyway, this card is also very good. Are dwarves gonna be good? I don't know. I don't know. Counter things to round control and strategy. Exactly.